Hi guys, Blind Guy Garage. Remember, no editing. It's kind of like every video is a live stream almost, because I don't do any, I just can't see a computer well enough to do editing software stuff. You know, make it all cool. Like I'll never be as good as Restored. Go check that channel out. And Country Boy Gas Garage, he needs your help. Just as bad as I do. What we got here is John Deere. And this went bad. This is a universal. This is a new one. This is a starter solenoid. The way these operate is it's an electromagnet on one side and a magnetic throwed switch on the inside on the other side. So when the electromagnet is activated, it draws the arm over and activates this. So activates the high side of the switch, the high amperage side. So you can control a high amperage item with a very low amperage switch or ignition switch or button or whatever. So the way this one's set up, I think these are kind of like a linear actuator solenoid type deal in the inside here, and it just pulls the switch shut instead of a magnet drawing this that way and the electromagnetic field doing the actual work. It's more like that kind of deal. So John Deere on this machine here used a proprietary version of this, and it's got two bolts down, like screws down in a hole, and one is screwed to the plastic, and I mean, you got to take these fenders and all off. It's a lot of work just to get situated where you can put your tools and stuff down in there to get to the dadgum solenoid. So I'm going to explain more about the solenoid here in a minute. I'm just taking this is the battery wire, this is the hot side, this is the plus, the red. And this other one goes to your starter or whatever item it is you're controlling. So one side would always go to a constant hot. I guess you could set it up to have a switched on hot, but I think it'd be a bit redundant. And I would recommend, if you're going a long distance, unlike this wire, that you put a fuse in it, especially if it's a constant power circuit. This is set up to be a momentary on because we're just running the starter. So the way this works is a hot positive or the plus side of the battery wire goes on one side or the other. On this one, it doesn't really matter. You can put ground here or positive here. Either way, it doesn't matter. It'll operate the same in both directions. It goes both ways. Keep it PG. So this is your hot side here. So this is your high voltage side or high amperage side. So you would run one of these two pins to your battery and one of these two pins to your control, whatever you're controlling. So it'd be on this, I'd call it my starter. But I've ran stuff like this to winches and fans and stuff like that. These are only like $12, and they're set up to mount anywhere, any kind of way. And with the dual wire system, if you already have two wires in the harness and they're got enough length on them. All you gotta do is zip tie this thing. It can sit and do this, and it won't hurt anything. It might break the wires eventually, not these big ones, but the little ones. But I do still have it unbolted a little bit, and it's not bolted. This particular machine's not bolted. It's got the push pin like rivet type deals that you have on four-wheelers and all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this solenoid to just sitting kind of above that area of the other solenoid, so it's still close enough to all of the circuitry or all the wiring and all of that, and still able to do its job. But we're not going to be putting, oh, well, that went all the way to the floor. We're not going to be putting a John Deere one back on. The customer, I talked to him about it and stuff, and the customer's cool with it. They understand, and this is effort to save them money but still have a reliable repair that's going to be affordable, because this is not their primary machine, so they're not really concerned with trying to make it absolutely perfect. I wonder if it'd be better to do it that way. This other harness is in my way, so I'm trying not to drop all this stuff that goes on these, because it's kind of difficult. Oh, I'm glad. Sometimes these pins on these aftermarket ones, the universals, are quite a bit bigger than what the factory may have put on, and I've used these on four-wheelers and stuff, so I mean, they'll take a whooping. And they get submerged in water and stuff like that, and it doesn't seem to bother them at all. And this is not, because they've got so much plastic off in here, it's not really going to be easy to try to, oh shucks. It's not going to be really easy to try to bolt all this down. So it's going to end up sitting in here the way that it can need to, and still everything be safe and be able to be vibrated and jiggled and slammed around, and not get out of place. I was hoping I'd be able to find if it wasn't. Oh, I dropped my washer, which on this setup it's not going to have it. It's just dagnabbit. I wanted to have it on there. So we got that. I got that. Where's Bessie here? We got the other bolt or nut. Alright, so now I'm thinking I can drag it back in here. Hook up, ow. Plug in the plugs. Now I may have to turn it over, because that's not working very easy. turn it over. If I can turn it over with it still having the wires hooked up. And alrighty. Get sorry, I'm focusing very deeply on trying to get these two wires plugged in this space that I have now allowed myself, and it's pretty difficult. Because you can't, I mean, you definitely, where the camera is sitting for y'all to see is probably the only place where you could be to be able to see in the first place. Does that make sense? I don't know. So anyhow, we got stuff sitting in place here. There's no metal off in here. It's all plastic. Like I said, this is like not frame structures, but like supporting pieces. So they ran a piece of thick plastic, molded plastic up in here to I think to be able to mount their solenoids and relays and stuff. And I think it holds the seat springs, and it holds all kinds of little pieces and parts. You would think they would not make it out of that. If they made it out of metal, it would make it a little more difficult on me on this way I'm doing this. But hey guys, another little cool tool. It does that, and it also, you turn the handle, and you turn the handle back and forth, and it still turns the ratchet the correct way. So this is not for tightening them up if you're in there and you're having to it's just one of them spots you can't swing that ratchet. You can do that, and it actually works really good. It's just I wouldn't use it to really torque on things because it's kind of special. That's your special ratchet. Alright. Now the way this is going to work, I see, is those two wires are just fine. It's not tight. It's tight on the plugs, but not, the wires aren't pulled tight. Yeah. So now I'm going to, where'd I put the battery? It's over there. Okay. Now I'm going to set the battery back in here, hook it up, and then see what we got. Sorry, you just kind of drop them in there a little bit because they smash your fingers all to pieces down in there. And I don't feel like crying on camera. Well, I don't guess I'm on camera. My hands are. You can see my hands cry, I guess. So what we're going to do, somebody torquerized the bejesus out of that battery. Some darn near smashed the terminal off of it. Sometimes this stuff it ain't like it owes you money. You don't gotta be that mean to it. just snug it up, guys. Now, I don't always do it positive side first. Some machines just use your wits about you. If you hook the positive up first, then, the negative up first, then everything the wrench could touch after that, when you're tightening the positive side up, could potentially arc, unless you're like this machine and 90% of it's plastic. Now I'm going to tighten the negative side up, and it's not going to be, if I clink the wrench off of something, I don't have a huge likelihood of, getting burned up too. I don't know if y'all have ever done it, but the old jumper wire trick, trying to do some electrical, and that jumper wire shorts the ground. That's real fun, ain't it? You barbecue your fingers really quick. Or smoke a wire. Or I branded my fingers I don't know how many times. Dang paperclip jumper wires and fuse panels and circuit pigtails, like relay pigtails and stuff. So right now we should click, and we should bump the motor, unless, oh yeah, we got all kinds of safeties turned off. Hold on, we're up. Need to have the handles out. Then brake is up. We got clicking. Yeah. See, and that thing's not grounded off the body. It's grounded off of them two wires. The other way, that other one is just clicking. Because they were bolting it to plastic, they had to have a ground wire going to the other side. And now that's sandwiched in there pretty strong. It's all up against plastic. The other wiring is going over the top. It's actually not even touched. It looks like it's on it, but it must be being held up by something else. So now I can go through the rest of this machine, put all the dang well, there, I put them right here. Put all these things back in, and it took like 3 or 4 of these out. And these are terrible. You put this body down in there first. You got to pinch it shut like that and get it down in there, and you slide this in behind it, and it basically works like a pop rivet or a Cleco or one of these little plastic doodads. But yeah, this is how they're putting John Deere's together now, fellas. We throw our plastic Corona stuff out. That's the way you can accomplish self-isolation right yonder in this day and age, is let out a big old sneeze, scream Corona, and watch them run. Pretty funny. Well, this one's got a little gap. Sorry, it took me a minute to recover from that sneeze. They don't. And this stuff, I reckon it's supposed to be easier. But it ain't. If it was a bolt, I'd be done by now. Dang. How did it even come out of there if it won't go into there? Dang it. Moses. does not. Like I said, I hate these things. They don't work worth a flip. There ain't nothing about them good. It makes life more difficult most of the time. You could have just put a dadgum bolt in there and been fine. Probably could still just put a bolt in there and be fine. Somebody say upgrade. And it's got to have it because it's this one little plastic clip on this side holds nearly the whole fender on this whole side. Don't bump anything with this little machine. I'm about to break my thumb trying to push it down. It won't go on. Why? I'm running my hand up underneath the machine. This is ridiculous. I tell you guys, the way they build stuff anymore, very unimpressed. I got it. I guess it saves them 15 cents in manufacturing to do that. It can't be that great. We got another one to put in up here by the handle. Oh, and this is another thing that happens to them. You got to watch. They break real easy, and then you got to go buy new ones. You can't do anything. With a bolt, you know, you're pretty well, I mean, it's not going to break off very easy. It's going to take a long time for that kind of stuff to happen. This machine's barely out of its warranty, and we have these issues. So, that was the other one. And I think we have maybe, was it just 2? Maybe just 2. That's fine with me. I don't like putting them stupid things in. Nope, there's 3. Dadgummit. I spoke too soon. Story of my life. Wee, wee, wee. Alright, let's see here. There's another one around here somewhere, and I can't remember. It's been a day or 2 since I've been out here messing with this. I think I just found it. It's up here in the middle. It should be out of the camera's line of sight. Alright, we're all buttoned in here. We're still, the only thing left for this machine is, oh yeah, handle got moved, is, yep. Only thing left for this little guy here is we'll put the blades on it, and she's ready to go. But I mean, everybody knows how to put blades on. It's take one off, put one on. It's not a huge issue. You know what I'm saying? We're fully clamp-wized in onto a lawnmower blade and magnetically adhered and all of that. There's the blade. So now, just in case, you see the solenoid is kind of just sitting in there. You really cannot, I mean, I can't even move the thing now, but it should be good to go. It's laying up against plastic and rubber, like rubber